What is up there, everybody? Citrus Aviation here with yet another video, and today we have the 800 subscriber special aviation interview. And today we are interviewing an awesome YouTuber who goes by the name of GeminiJets333. Now, most of you have probably heard of him. He's a famous OG aviation YouTuber in the Geminijet space who collected Geminijets and had a model airport. And we are going to do an interview with him. I'm very excited to do this with him, and I want to welcome him onto the show right now.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
So, that was GeminiJets333. We're going to get started with these questions. Some of these questions were selected by you guys. I put a poll out on Instagram, and a lot of you guys responded, and so I was able to pick some of the questions directly from you guys. If I did pick one of your questions, I will say your username just as I'm starting to ask the question. A lot of questions though were repeated, particularly two in particular, which we'll get to later on. But if I didn't pick your exact version, I'm sorry about that, but there were a lot of people who asked kind of the same questions, so that's why I had to pick certain ones. So we're going to get started here with the very first question, and that is, how did you get interested in aviation?
That's a really good question. I feel like that's our go-to question, right? So my dad was actually a private pilot, so I feel like growing up he always wanted to take me out to the airport and watch the planes come in and land. And in Houston, IAH, where I grew up in Houston, Texas, so at the big airport, IAH, they actually had a restaurant that overlooked the entire airport, and he would always take me out there as a kid growing up. And so that's how I kind of fell in love with aviation, just like with planes in general. And then later down the road of life, I figured out, I guess I saw model airplanes, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I loved all the details with it, and so I became obsessed with it, and I started my collection from there.
Alrighty, and what was your first model aircraft, and do you still have it?
Okay, so my first one was a British Airways. It was GeminiJets, British Airways 747-400. I do not have it anymore. I got it way before I actually started collecting. But my first model that I thought was to start my collection, this was honestly before I really understood the different scales. It was a 1/600 scale Lufthansa A380, and I do still have that, and that one's a Herpa. But I mean, it's crazy to think I just thought it would come in the size that all the other Dragon wings came in, and when it showed up in its small little box, I was like, whoa, this is actually different. And then I started understanding what the different scales meant, and started with 1/400 from there.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, what was your first 1/400 scale model that you bought to collect?
Oh goodness, that's a really good question. I think it could be an AirTran 717. I'm pretty sure that was one of the first. If not, then it was the American Airlines Fokker 100. That was around that time as well, but I honestly don't remember for sure. Very
cool. Yeah, I actually got an AirTran 717 really early on. It was the 2014 GeminiJets release, if I remember correctly. So, with that being said, Aviation 12 PHL asked, why did you start collecting model aircraft?
Okay, so why did I start collecting that? So at that time, my parents were actually getting involved in the toy business and making toys. And they brought home this magazine for all the up-and-coming toy businesses. And this was in 2010. And in that catalog was probably a 5-page section for GeminiJets. And so that's when I figured out GeminiJets, and that's when I wanted that terminal that I have. And so from there, it just spurred my excitement with it. Seeing the photos in the catalog, I wanted to recreate it in my room, and it spurred the beginning of it all.
Wow, that is amazing, because for a lot of the newer collectors, like for example myself, I know a lot of other people, we were inspired by watching videos like yours. For me, one reason why I'm so excited to do this interview in particular, all the interviewees I've done have been amazing, but this one I've been particularly excited about because you were my original inspiration for collecting diecast model aircraft and for starting YouTube, because I probably would have done both anyway. However, it was kind of watching your videos, I was like, oh, I had an idea of how I could do that, and I was really excited about that. So I want to thank you for that so much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, like at that time, in like 2008, 2009, I think that's when it was. I didn't even know there was such a thing on YouTube. And even when I started YouTube, there was this really small community with it. But yeah, like I remember like buying online for purchasing models, or like in 2010 you would have to like fax your credit card information. Like it was like crazy, like it wasn't even like it was like now where you just like it's so easy to do it. But yeah, times have changed.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Now you can just go to one of your favorite retailers, of which there's usually like 2 or 3 dozen to choose from, and it's really simple.
Yeah, y'all have it easy.
Yeah. So whom or what was the reason you started making YouTube videos?
Okay, I love this question. So there was one collector in particular that really just like, when I saw his videos, I was like, man, like I want to try this out. It was GeminiJets 2011, and it was actually really ironic because like this same month I started the YouTube channel. After watching his videos for like half a year, he announced that he was quitting YouTube, and his airport was a mock-up of Dallas-Fort Worth, DFW, and he was the only collector I knew that had an American MD-80. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss his videos so much. And then over time, other collectors joined the community, like GeminiJets333, AA Flyer 777, Jetboy 0311 2000. Those were like the early on people who were in the community with me from the start, and then like I met some great people along the way. Like I don't know if y'all know like Aviation Uncle Craigers or the Model Airport Network, and so from then like I realized this was actually a really strong community, and so that was like my foundation with the community. And then of course it's grown since then to almost, I guess, like thousands of people, and like that's just crazy to think about.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it's probably somewhere in the range of 5,000 to 10,000 people who actually fairly consistently make aviation or model aviation YouTube videos.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely like mind-boggling to think that there's that many people out there.
I know. And so really thank you so much for being an inspiration to people like myself and many others out there.
Of course. I mean, I started to share my passion with the world, and I'm so glad it had an impact on so many people. I mean, my goal was just to share, and the fact that like so many people follow along the journey just makes it so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next question comes from Delta MD88 fan, and his question was your airport based on any real-life airport, or was it 100% fictional?
Honestly, it was 100% fictional. I would purchase my models based off of whether I wanted those models. It wasn't if it fit a route or if it fit a need in the airport. I wanted to collect on the like platform that like the models meant a special something to me, and so that's why I did a fictional airport, is because that it gave me endless opportunities for which models to buy and which models to include. It was, if y'all did follow along from the beginning, it was based in the New York area, but that was just because like I felt like that was the most easiest environment to say like where these planes are flying in from and where they're going to. And but yeah, it was 100% fictional. Of course, I would look into see what the airlines were doing, what routes they were establishing, and then base the routes from the airport off that. But it wasn't like I was going out of my way to buy specific planes to fit specific roles. It was mainly just what I liked, and and then I would just include it in the airport.
Yeah, that sounds good. And a lot of people do fictional airports. I was just wondering because I'd never been able to figure that out. So thank you for answering the question.
Yeah.
So, next up, how did you make and edit your videos?
Oh my gosh, well, I'm no professional on anything, so I just did iMovie, and it was funny because like you could see through my videos that I did improve with my iMovie skills over the years, and I guess my photography skills too. But yeah, I was just true to iMovie, and honestly, if I was posting videos today, I would probably still be using iMovie. It was something that I could do easily, and I knew how to do it, so I stuck with it.
Yeah, one of the most recent interviews I did, I believe the last one was with Aviation, and he still uses iMovie to this day.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll actually just put up a little screenshot here right now of what the entire video file looks like in my Premiere Pro file. It's probably going to be about 7 layers deep, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, that's one of the things I've learned as a graphic designer is how to use the Adobe Suite, including Premiere Pro. However, your videos don't need to use that. You can make fantastic videos with free software that comes on your computer. If you're using a Mac, you use iMovie. If you're using Windows, there are a bunch of free options out there. So go check it out. Go start making your own content. It's to be honest, really easy to just start doing if you want to give it a try.
Yeah, well, I give you mad respect to go into the links you go with your editing. It's crazy, so.
Thank you. So, what is your favorite aircraft?
Okay, my favorite aircraft, I would have to say the 757.
Fantastic choice.
Thank you.
One of my favorite aircraft as well, particularly the 200 variant of what I like to call the Generation 2, where they have the 2 large emergency doors up front and then the winglets. Those are my favorite ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, what is your favorite airline?
Okay, so growing up, I would always say, like, Southwest, because I loved their different paint schemes, and I thought they were so, like, I loved how they were always so casual and not uptight like the other airlines. But I haven't flown Southwest in, like, 6 years. The airline that I've flown the most has been United, so I guess I have to go with United just because that's who I've flown.
Okay, they haven't kicked you off a plane yet?
They haven't kicked me off a plane yet, no. And of course, I've had terrible experiences with them, but I can't seem to go to a different airline just yet. I'm still loyal to them for some reason. I don't know why.
It's all good. We all have our airlines that we like. Alrighty. I had to ask what's your favorite aircraft and airline, because that is one of the most popular questions that everybody's going to ask. So I started putting those in all the interviews now, and people seem to really find it interesting.
No, I love it. I mean, with Aviation Geeks, you have to ask that question.
Absolutely. So, our 10th question is, what made or makes your channel unique?
So at the time, I feel like I was one of the only channels that was taking photos of the model airplanes and then posting it. For a while, I didn't like to speak in my videos, so that's why it took me like 2 years to actually make an airport update. I was just like, I don't want to speak. But I think like having my like JFW photo videos were kind of unique around that time period. And they might still be unique today. I don't know if any other channels are doing it. I try to still be active in the community and watch some videos. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know if other channels are doing it. I would love to know.
I haven't really seen anyone doing photo compositions with like some music. I remember seeing those JFW updates where you have a bunch of photos and then like
with the
a track in the background.
Yeah, I loved doing those. Those were really fun to make.
Yeah. I don't remember which one it was. I want to say maybe it was the LAX aerial plane spawn, the one that got partly copyright taken down
Yes,
because of the music thing.
Yeah, I did do the helicopter spotting like 2 times. I've only posted 1 video of it, but that was one heck of an experience, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. But it was such a cool experience.
Mm-hmm. When a lot of people go to LA, they probably want to do some things like visit downtown, maybe go to some of the interesting places like Hollywood or whatever around. But when I'm there, I'm like, when I want to go there, if I ever make out to LAX, I'll be like, well, what I really want to do in LA is I want to go to an In-N-Out burger at the airport, and I want to go take the helicopter ride around LAX. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that In-N-Out is iconic. You have to go there if you come to LA.
Absolutely. I assume you've been there.
Yes, multiple times.
Very nice. Is there food as good as I've heard it is?
In-N-Out or LA in general?
In-N-Out.
Yeah, it's good. It's decent. I wouldn't say it's to die for, but
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, I'm from Texas, so I grew up with Whataburger, and so
Yeah, I've grown up with Chick-fil-A, so that they've always been like my favorite because they make such good food.
Yeah.
So, where did the name GeminiJets333 come from?
So like I said, Gemini Jets 2011 had his name, and I was like, okay, I'll do Gemini Jets, and I guess I need a number. And so my favorite number at the time was 33, but YouTube wouldn't let me do 33, so I was like, I guess I just will add another 3 to it, and that's what I did, and it just stuck with it, so... so it's Gemini Jets 333. I wish it was Gemini Jets 33, but I'll keep 333. It's because I guess it's a name that everyone knows now.
Yeah, it's kind of iconic at this point. I think there is a Gemini Jets 33 somewhere. I don't know.
There is. Someone has it now, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, I'm really jealous. You.
And I've also noticed with YouTube, you can actually steal names. Like, you literally just copy and paste the name that someone else has. Because I've seen, like, multiple people with the same username on YouTube in the last few years. I'm like, oh, that's a thing now.
I did not know that, but that's good to know.
Yeah. Next question. RNY International asks, what is your favorite model in your collection?
Okay, this is really hard because I really do love all my models. My favorite model, one has to be the Continental Airlines 777 Peter Max colors. I think another one is my Southwest Slam Dunk one. I feel like that's one that I love that model. And the third model would be my American Airlines 767-300 with the winglets and the chrome livery, or chrome colors. I think that's one of my rarest models too, so I have to go with those 3.
Okay, yeah, those are some good options. Sometimes if you want, you can give me a whole model collection list and I can tell you how rare they are. Oh
yeah, I should do that. Okay, I'll take you up on that offer.
Alright, that would actually make a really awesome video. How rare is GeminiJets333's full collection?
I would love to know, actually.
Yeah, that's been one of the things that I've followed very closely. You might have seen I made the video on that not too long ago.
I did watch it. I did. I was fascinated by it. I was curious which models you were going to say.
Yeah, it's a topic that hasn't been really covered on a YouTube video, but like everybody likes to claim that their Delta 737-900 splits is rare. I'm like, no. With that being said, we have our next question. If I can scroll to it, that would be fantastic. And this question is by Life of Seth 22. Do you have any NG models?
I don't think so. So I have a few of those models from the people before NG models. Like they created like a United Airlines Star Alliance and like an Air Caribbean 737-800. I don't remember the name of that company. I have those models.
Is that Phoenix models?
What?
Is that Phoenix models?
It was the people like similar to Phoenix models, but it wasn't Phoenix models. I literally looked at the name when you sent me the questions. I was like, oh, I need to remember that, but now I lost it.
Okay. Because most of the manufacturers that now exist, let's see, there's NG models, GeminiJets, those are 2 big ones in 1 to 400 scale. But there's also JC Wings. They are a parent company of GeminiJets. They seem to be co-owned by each other. They have some big co-sale agreement because they use the same molds and such.
Oh, interesting.
And then there's Phoenix models. They seem to be kind of slowly on their way out. They're having some financial issues right now.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's kind of a little known story. It's Aero Classics. There was Velocity models for a little while.
Models, yeah. It was okay. I googled. It's Witty Wings.
Oh yeah. They were around a while back.
They were
models.
so old, but like that's like right when I kind of stopped collecting. I feel like.
Yeah. And so NG Model started a few years after you stopped. I think we have a question about if you stopped collecting, and I think that would be a good time to cover that.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we have next up. Do you still collect model aircraft? And if not, when and why did you stop collecting?
Okay, so I kind of just answered this. I do not collect anymore, but that's not to say it's permanent. I might pick it back up again. I stopped at around 2015 or 2016. So that's like when I stopped. I stopped because it was towards the end of high school, and I was just I knew I was heading off to college, and it just at the time it just wasn't in my best interest to continue on collecting if I didn't know what the future held for the models. So I just put a pause on it, and I guess it's a longer pause than I thought it would be, but yeah, so who knows when or if I'll start collecting, but I do look at what GeminiJets and NG models release every month through like your YouTube announcements, of course. I do wait for those. So I'm still like, I see the releases. I'm like, honestly, I would love to have that, but I don't live with my collection anymore. So it's like, I'd be shipping it to it arrive and someone else pick it up. So I guess that's another dilemma I have. Like, I'm not with the models right now, so.
Mm-hmm. You're not like Aviation 18 who lives in his collection.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, as of now, I do not collect.
All right. That's a good answer, but we are looking forward to your talk.
Thank you.
This next one was a very highly requested question, but I chose ID's Aviation's Bolsonaro's question, and that is, what is the most important, rewarding accomplishment you got from being on YouTube? Just
being part of the community, honestly. Like, getting to know people who have the same interest as you. Like, making friends through it. I mean, I've met so many great people through YouTube and through collecting. And I that's honestly the most rewarding aspect of it, is just the people you meet. It's really not about how many subscribers you have, how many views you have. It's all about the people you're talking with, the people you're engaging with, and the friends you make. And that lasts a lifetime, you know.
That's a fact.
Yeah, so I'd have to say, and the aviation community is a strong one. Red River Aviation posts about how strong the community is, and I love that, because y'all will look back on it and be like, wow, like, that was such a good experience growing up, like, getting to know people who share the same interests as me. It's like, you don't really find that a lot in life, and so the fact that everyone has that here is great.
Yeah, and particularly, as you mentioned that, we live in a very divisive time. In fact, at the time I'm recording this video, the United States presidential 2020 election is just 2 days out. And obviously there's a lot of division going on in our country now. I don't want to get into politics, but I just want to mention that compared to what is out there, the aviation community is really held together really well, and I'm really happy about that.
And I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so with our next question, and this was the most requested question right here, and I chose Casey Aviation's version of the question, and he said, "Why did you stop posting on YouTube?"
So kind of a similar thing with collecting. Just my time was coming to an end, just being near the models, and so I just kind of slowly stopped. You could tell at the end that like I was really late with my airport updates, and it was just becoming kind of hard to get the motivation to do them, knowing that I would have to stop in August of that year that I just paused. And also, like, I think I mentioned this in an airport update, is that like YouTube changed their algorithm like a year before I stopped posting, where like you couldn't see the activity of the people you were subscribed with, and that really changed like the way I viewed the community, because then it was like I would like not go on YouTube for a month, and then like all the people that I were following had either like gone quiet or like quit, and I'm like, where's the new people? And so like it was really hard to find people who were like posting again during that time, because YouTube had changed the activity monitor in the subscription feed. And so I just kind of lost interest with YouTube for that year. And then when I like started getting back into it and like subscribed to more people and like actually realized, oh, the community was still there, I just like lost the people who were actually posting. I was already gone from the models. So it was just bad timing. And then before I knew it, I was like, okay, I need to post a final airport update. Like I feel like I left it out on a limb, and like I need to close the book somehow. Whether we reopen it in the future or not, that's a different story. But for now, and for all my subscribers and for the people who are asking, when am I posting it? I was like, I need to post this final airport update. And so that's what I did last year. And I was really glad I did that. And it was really nice to do it. It brought back a ton of memories. And who knows, I might be back again. But I really did enjoy that one final hurrah. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that YouTube algorithm changed during what a lot of people like to call the adpocalypse, and that was a major restructuring of YouTube's ad algorithm, their AdSense, and a lot of things they changed. And now they do pretty much a major change with their site and algorithm about once every year. And so it's kind of every single year you have to kind of see what is YouTube up to now. How did they try to screw everybody else over now?
You gotta brace for the changes.
Yep, and they recently added 2 ads per video, 2 ads per ad break, which is almost like, it's like Spotify now. It's like really annoying.
Oh man, yeah, those ads are they can be brutal sometimes.
But it's YouTube. You kind of have to live it if you're trying to make money. It's kind of the way it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the community's still here, which is a great thing. In fact, we've grown significantly, and I really appreciate your last airport update for now that you posted. It was just over a year from now from the time of recording this.
Yeah.
And it's a great update, and thank you for closing that chapter in a successful way.
Thank you. I was really happy with the feedback I got from it, and it brought me so much joy. So thank you for the kind words.
You're welcome. So with the next question, this was asked by Delta Flyer HD, and you kind of answered it a little bit. But the question is, will you start uploading again?
Yeah, that I don't even have an answer to that question. I think time will tell. It depends on where I end up in a few years. We will see. But the channel will never be deleted. The videos will never be deleted. They'll always be up. So, in a way, I'm still here. Just the videos and the activity of posting might not be.
Yeah, that's a good answer. So yeah, GeminiJets333's channel will always exist for you guys to go watch the awesome catalog he has. If he starts uploading once again, that would be super awesome as well. So, here's a question that GeminiJets13 was so delighted when I asked him this question, and I've been asking every model collector since, because it's one that everybody has their own opinion on. And this one is, if you became CEO of GeminiJets today, what changes would you make?
They have issues with their quality, so I think I would work on that, not ship broken models.
That's a great idea.
I also would... I don't know, I know they've gotten a bit more expensive over the years too, so I would try to make them a bit more affordable, I feel like. And then the final one is actually make a model airport that your consumers want to buy. I feel like, they released that 8-gate terminal that everyone bought, but they wanted more. And then the most recent one they released is good, but I just think they can do better with the terminal. That's my only opinion about that, is bring back the terminal that the one that I had. I feel like that's a perfect one.
Yeah, I think if GeminiJets literally just re-released the original deluxe terminal, didn't change anything about it, maybe charge $500 for it, it would sell out like crazy. People buy
you're
tons
so
of
right.
it.
It would make them a ton of money. I don't know why they wouldn't do it. I just don't.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. At least they have NG models scaring them just a bit. So, hopefully, it will light a fire underneath them to actually change some of the quality issues and actually listen to their consumer base, which I feel like they're doing a bit more now. So, we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Next question is, how has YouTube changed your life?
Just like I said earlier, with the community aspect and getting to meet so many people. I think it's definitely, all those people have had an impact on my life. I still talk to people who I met through YouTube and through Instagram with Aviation. So just the relationships and the friendships that you make through it are just, that's the most significant thing.
Yeah, and one of the things is, when I make a YouTube video, if I see one person whose life I was able to enrich or make happier from watching the video, it just is so satisfying.
Yeah, totally. The amount of comments that, and I know you can probably relate to this, let's say, oh my gosh, I love your airport, it makes me want to start collecting. It's oh my gosh, you're inspiring someone else. And
yes, absolutely.
It's really nice to hear.
And then the final question has been saved from my friend Aviation 18. He was also the very first interviewee that I did, and the person who helped to launch the Aviation YouTuber interview series. So this question is from him, and is, how does it feel to be the grandfather of the community? How do you feel about your legacy living on?
Well, I feel old, honestly. But it's nice knowing that, even though, I'm not posting anymore, the community is way more than just that. People are, there's new creators on the rise, which I love to hear. And, you, of course. And I think that's what's so special about it is, even though I'm not posting anymore, I still get to see what the community is doing. I still get to, look down and be wow, the models that they have are so cool. I wish I had that. And so, yeah, but I do feel kind of old, and I do wish that I was still more active in it. But I think some things are just beyond our control, and I'm glad that the community still has so many creators that will inspire countless people to begin their own collections, and that's what's really special. And I'm sorry, what's the second part of the question?
The second part of the question is, how do you feel about your legacy living on?
I feel really honored. It's a really amazing feeling to look back and see the people that have been impacted by the videos. If you would have asked me back in 2012 when I started the channel, if it would reach this many people, if like this many people would comment, or many people would know my username. I'd be like, no, there's no way. Like, that sounds insane. And the fact that like I look back and I'm like, whoa, like that actually happened, and I think that's really cool. And I am honored. I feel, I mean, this community will always hold a special place in my heart, and like, I'll never forget it. It was such a fun, like, few years being a part of, and I mean, I'm still a part of it, but like being active in it, and like, it really made my childhood, like looking back on my childhood, like it's just a prominent thing that like, I'll always remember. And so for that, like, I'm truly grateful for the community. I'm truly grateful for the platform that YouTube allowed me to share my passion with everyone, and for everyone to share their passion with me. Like, it's I don't know how I could grow up without it. And so yeah, I guess I have to leave it at that. Like, it's really impacted me, and I'm super grateful for it.
Yeah, and as someone who's been inspired by your videos, I want to thank you so much for being my initial inspiration for model collecting and for starting at YouTube, and for the many other people who you positively impacted.
Of course. I'm so glad to have a little bit of an impact, so thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I want to thank GeminiJets333 for coming on. This has been a special interview for myself and for him as well. I'm so excited to do this one. This has been a great video, and I want to thank him for being one of the original OG members of the community, and for coming on to doing this interview. It's always a pleasure to bring on aviation YouTubers, and I'm always looking for more aviation YouTubers. So if you know someone who you want to have interviewed, or if you are a large aviation YouTuber yourself and you want to be interviewed, I would love to arrange something, and we'll see what we can do for future interviews. So thank you guys so much for 800 subscribers. This video is probably coming out as I'm just passing 860 subscribers, because life happens. And I want to thank you so much, Saul, for coming on. And do you have some parting words you want to say?
Just thank you, everyone. I hope you got to learn a little bit more about me, and thank you, Citrus Aviation, for having me. It was an honor to be here, and I hope y'all have a great rest of the year. It's 2020 is almost over.
What a strange year it's been.
Well, it's crazy, but thank you again.
You're welcome. So, with that being said, that was this video, this interview with GeminiJets333. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day. See you in the next video, and God bless you.